Welcome, WrestleRanters, to another monumental edition of WrestleRant. I am your host, Bleacher Report featured Columnist Level 2, Graham GSM Matthews, here today to review the November 7th edition of Monday Night Raw. This is our monumental 20th edition of WrestleRant, so we have a whole jam-packed review here today for you WrestleRanters. So, to kick off the show, we had John Cena come out to confront Awesome Truth about last week's antics and the week before that, and how John Cena basically has been dominating Awesome Truth over the last couple of weeks/months. Then he announced that his tag team partner will be Zack Ryder. That was a decent promo overall. Nothing really happened there. Zack Ryder came out, made the save. John Cena kind of built him up to be this superstar, this huge main event top player, which I was really happy about. And it kind of gives Zack Ryder this rub that he desperately needs to become a top player on Monday Night Raw. So then, in the opening match, we had the United States Champion Dolph Ziggler take on the, less than desirable John Morrison, who has been on a losing streak as of late. Not as of last night, because last night he defeated Dolph Ziggler in an upset victory, in my opinion, when he beat him with the Starship. I don't even know how he won. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But anyway, for this match, for what it was, this was a really great match. These two naturally just have chemistry, so they produced a really good match. We've seen it before. We saw about 2 years ago over on the SmackDown roster. I really don't want to see these two collide over the United States Championship come Survivor Series. I just want to see Ryder contend for the U.S. title after what happened last week. Up until tonight, the commentators didn't really acknowledge John Morrison's losing streak as of now. It's been going on since August, and then just the night that they started acknowledging the streak, it ends. So I thought that was kind of pointless/useless. And I really do not enjoy Dolph Ziggler losing these constant matches that are non-title. Then he just comes back and wins the title matches anyway. It makes him seem like a vulnerable heel champion, a chicken shit heel champion, which is something I don't want to see. Dolph Ziggler will hopefully drop the championship sooner rather than later, so he can go on to feud in the main event angles, and stuff like that. So hopefully we see that come to fruition in coming weeks. I don't want to see John Morrison be the one to take the United States Championship off of Ziggler, but hopefully we see something else unfold with Ziggler in coming weeks. Then I believe after that we had the Mason Ryan versus JTG matchup, and it was. Mason Ryan defeated JTG within minutes. Nothing really surprising here. A lot of people were kind of surprised to see JTG still employed, seeing that he has not been used in Raw since he has been drafted to Raw this past year in the WWE Supplemental Draft. But I would have liked to see a more worthier opponent to take on Mason Ryan, someone like Drew McIntyre, who was also from the United Kingdom, much like Mason Ryan was. He received a pretty decent pop from being from Wales. So this was a decent match. It was what it was. Mason Ryan ended up winning. It's some pretty good builds. As far as the video package that aired before the match, we saw that WWE has some faith in Mason Ryan to become a top star. Now, I don't want to see him to become the next main event player / WWE champion on Monday Night Raw. That is something I don't want to see. But hopefully though, if under control and if used correctly, Mason Ryan could be a pretty good mid-card act, not as the United States champion. Hopefully they just build him up to be something pretty good. And he has definitely been impressive in the ring as of late, and much better than he has been in recent months before he came back. So I definitely think that he has potential as a face, even though I want to see him as a heel. But whatever, life goes on. After that, we had WWE Champion Alberto Del Rio defeat WWE Tag Team Champion Kofi Kingston, who seemed to be off his A game after Evan Bourne was suspended last week. Looks like Kofi Kingston is going back to the mid card for now before Evan Bourne comes back next month. But anyway, this match is quick and painless. I mean, these guys can go much, much longer than they actually were given. These two have excellent chemistry, but it was what it was. Del Rio has been winning efficiently lately, so this one was logical for him. I'm glad he did come up with a win. Then afterwards, we had CM Punk confront Del Rio and say that Del Rio had the choice to call off the WWE Championship match at Survivor Series. Obviously, Punk refused, and they began to brawl, and Punk hit a GTS on Ricardo Rodriguez to close the segment. This was pretty sweet. I like this rivalry, and now it's getting more and more time on Monday Night Raw. I'm really liking this rivalry. They can definitely produce in the ring. Now they definitely are producing on the mic. CM Punk made this angle interesting. He made this promo interesting when he said how Del Rio, how his promos are more one-dimensional than most heels. As far as that is true, that is not something that he should be saying on television, because a lot of people won't believe in Del Rio as a top WWE champion if his promos suck. So, I mean, I really did enjoy CM Punk, proclaiming the truth against Del Rio, but I don't think it's really something that was necessary, even though the crowd was pro-Punk, and it really just did drive home when he did hit that GTS on Ricardo Rodriguez. So hopefully this shapes up to be a great feud come Survivor Series, as it already is. But I'm liking this feud overall, most definitely. Then after that, we had Jack Swagger take on Santino Marella in a rematch from last week when Marella defeated Swagger. This week around, Jack Swagger defeated Marella with a ankle lock. Now, this match was definitely better wrestled than last week. This was an okay match, but more unnecessary slash worthless slash just pointless, in my opinion. I know that Jack Swagger has been lacking wins as of late, so I am glad that he did come out on top here. Santino has nothing to gain, nothing to lose, whatever. Jack Swagger definitely needs to become a solid mid-card act if he does indeed become United States champion in the near future. So I'm glad he got the win here, but, the match is over in minutes, so it really didn't mean anything. By the end of the night, it was totally forgettable. Then after that, we had the Divas segment with Kelly Kelly unveiling her Maxim cover, something that has been historic in the Divas division, seeing that Kelly Kelly is their top star, seeing how beautiful that she is. Then we had the Divas of Doom interrupt, and then we had Eve Torres and Alicia Fox back up Kelly Kelly to drive the Divas of Doom out of the ring. This promo really didn't do anything for me. I don't see what the point of it was, besides hyping Kelly Kelly's Maxim cover. I understand that she's still the face of the Divas division, even though that she isn't Divas champion. But just last week, Eve Torres was the one that emerged victorious in the Battle Royal to earn herself a number one contenders match for the Divas Championship at a later date. So it should be more focused on Eve Torres. They didn't even mention that Eve Torres is the number one contender for the Divas Championship. So if they're going to start building towards that at Survivor Series, they really need to do that next week. Because Eve Torres versus Beth Phoenix does not intrigue me at all. We saw it at Vengeance. Done. Just move on to the next challenger. Then after that, we had Kevin Nash come out and explain his actions for what he did to Triple H 2 weeks ago on Raw, as well as why he's rivaling with CM Punk in the first place, why he's feuding with him. This promo was definitely the highlight of the night for me. It wasn't match of the night, it was segment of the night. Definitely highlight of the night, as I just said. Merely because 3 months ago, a lot of members of the IWC and beyond were complaining that Kevin Nash's promo skills were definitely lacking since he came back to WWE. Now, I can't disagree, as it is true to an extent. So now the promos that he's been cutting now, well, just today, or last night I should say, because he hasn't cut a promo in 2 months, are really nicely done. I mean, he got straight to the point. He mentioned how he has history with Triple H with the Click, so I really enjoyed that insider reference. And he also said that, he also explained his actions for 2 weeks ago, their brief history and background. So I am kind of intrigued to see the two go at it in the ring at a future date. Hopefully it doesn't happen in Survivor Series, and they kind of go with what they said a couple weeks ago with Triple H being out for 6 weeks. Hopefully they follow through with that and not have him come back next week and challenge Nash to a match at Survivor Series. So hopefully we see this match take place in TLC or afterwards, somewhere later this year, or maybe early 2012, who knows. But I am intrigued into this rivalry after that promo from Kevin Nash last night. So very well done, Kevin Nash. So also after that, backstage, John Laurinaitis he announced that Brodus Clay will not be coming back until next week. Now that was something that I was really highly anticipating. I could care less about everything else that happened on the show. I was really, really anticipating Brodus Clay's reemergence on television last night, and it didn't come to fruition because of time constraints. Now, I don't understand why they just didn't cut a Marella Swagger match or the Mason Ryan match to make room for Brodus Clay. That was much more important after they've been building for the last couple of weeks. But either way, we're going to be seeing it next week on Raw anyway, so hopefully they do follow through with that as much as they do with the Jim Ross challenge with Michael Cole. But then we had Del Rio attack CM Punk backstage after CM Punk started to punch Dave Dotunga. And so I really like that as well. Del Rio needed the edge here. He needed the edge here. He hasn't gotten the upper hand in weeks. So it was really logical, yet surprising to see Del Rio get the attack on Punk backstage. Really well done. I'm liking this rivalry, as I said before. Hopefully it does live up to my standards come Survivor Series in their epic WWE Championship matchup. So in the main event, we had John Cena tag team with the likes of Zack Ryder to take on the team of Awesome Truth. Now the match quality, as far as the match quality goes, this was an awesome match. It went on for 17 minutes, something that's really rare on Raw these days. And it really got to showcase the skills of Zack Ryder, something that people have been calling for months now. So I'm really glad that happened, and John Cena really did put over Zack Ryder. You know, despite the comedy antics, he really did put over Zack Ryder, without a doubt. Awesome Truth didn't really gain anything here. They didn't lose anything. Now, the pinfall just came out of nowhere. It was absolutely random. He kicked Cena in the head, and then he pinned him, and R-Truth held down Cena's foot to give Miz the victory. I mean, they could have at least give John Cena a skull-crushing finale, and then end it in a dirty tactic way. I mean, the crowd didn't even react. They didn't even know how to react to this. And not only that, I mean, at Survivor Series, it's Awesome Truth versus Cena and Rock. And tonight was Cena and Ryder. So they pretty much just gave away that tag team main event as far as wrestling goes. The Rock, I know, is going to be eliminated in the ring anyway come Survivor Series. It basically just gave away that match. Why would I pay to see something I just saw on free television? So in the main event match, no one lost anything, no one gained anything. I mean, it's the same stale program that we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. It really needs to shape up next week if they're going to make The Rock's return to the ring special. Most definitely. They have a lot of work they need to do next week to make The Rock and John Cena's matchup against R-Truth in the main event of Survivor Series feel special. So I'm really looking forward to that. As far as anything else here, the overall show was definitely filler. That's what it came off as to me. It all the road show, more aftermath from last week, going into next week, the 3-hour show extravaganza with Raw gets rocked. So I'm definitely looking forward to that with, the Michael Cole Challenge. Hopefully JR coming back to commentary, Brodus Clay returning next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. The action just wasn't there last night. They had, 2 good matches with Ziggler and Morrison in the main event. So that's pretty much it. But anyways, so as I said, pretty filler show, and hopefully they do something to help build Survivor Series. Seeing that the 5-on-5 tag team match that was just recently announced, they didn't do anything to hype that at all. They could have at least put the members of that match, the participants, in singles matches, but obviously they couldn't because the SmackDown stars were away on a house show the same exact night, so they couldn't have the Englishman natives, William Regal and Wade Barrett, on the Raw broadcast. Hopefully they do that on SmackDown and or Superstars. I heard they were having Daniel Bryan versus William Regal on Superstars this week, so hopefully they do follow through with that, and I'm just eagerly waiting for that matchup. That is just a 5-star matchup, highly suggesting that you check that matchup out this coming week on Superstars. So that about does it for this week's Raw review. Now, time for the links. You can follow me on Twitter at save_us_GSM. You can join all my wrestling chats and everything on OVU at BJealous305. I'm usually on during Raw, SmackDown, and TNA Impact, mostly pay-per-views as well. Depends about my availability. As far as the website goes, you can check me out at nextdaywrestling.weebly.com for WWE TNA rumors, recaps, and more, as well as my Bleacher Report profile in the links below to check out all my latest articles. I will have more and more as time goes on, as well as to check out my Spoilers podcast with Sir Ben Gartland. That is also in the links below. And do not forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Love your feedback and your appreciation. Highly appreciated by myself. So, again, this is Bleacher Report featured columnist GSM, signing out, and enjoy your weekend, guys.